Hi everyone and very good evening to all of you. First of all, a warm welcome to all of you and let's be very positive about it. This session is all about positivity and I'll just request you to just remain positive throughout the session. I want you to focus on what you have done, not exactly focus on what you have not done. So this will help us all to grow together, okay? So the basic idea of the session is to motivate all of you who have been planning to get into NEET PG 2022. They have made a plan, but somehow, I don't know, maybe they are running as per the plan, or maybe they can't, or they haven't been, or maybe there are some distractions, or maybe they cannot make a plan out of it. So my right now we'll talk about everything that you could do to make your planning even better, and you can also do to make your distractions just go away. But before we do that, I just again welcome every of my students to my session, and I'll start by saying you, look, whatever has happened has happened. What you can do is tremendous. Why I'm saying so? Because we all are in the same boat. We all find the same demotivation. We all find the same issues, grand test issues, or distraction issues, or a family issue, or everything that is coming out of mind. And because we all are working together, so we have some common problems, and so we have a common issues, and we have common solutions. And if we can work with that together, I think no one can beat us. So first of all, I want you all to become very positive. Think about your issues and let's see how we can solve it. So very good evening to all of those who have joined us. Yes, Rahul, Shobi, Lord Tech, Veer, Lakshmi, Gauri, Priyansh. So very good evening to all of you. But देखो, as we are trying to prepare this year, the entire year has not been stable for all of us. But what has come to us as a lifeline, I'm saying this as a lifeline, is basically that we were all able to get some extra amount of time. What has happened over the last few weeks, I'll say, is because we got that extra amount of time, the movement of study has actually dipped down. But the question that I want to ask you here is, do you really feel that anyone who is preparing for the NEET PG, everyone has just dipped down? Do you really feel so? Do you really feel so that no one is studying now? So let me tell you the exact truth now. Yes, I am getting a lot of messages that I can't study, I am demotivated, but let's be very frank about it. There are a lot of students who are still working and moving to their goal. I get a lot of messages talking about, sir, I can't prepare, I am not able to study. But similarly, I have got messages, so since your last video, I have really tried to improve my scores and my scores are really going very good now. So right from a score of 75, they have moved to 100, they have moved to 110. So real congratulations to all of them. But yes, we all understand that as we start preparing our the entire thing, so what happens that we tend to lose the lifeline. What happens is, as you're preparing, there will be some days in which you are not able to read, and the next when you wake up, you get that the negative energy from the previous day. So what is happening is that previous day negative energy is not allowing you to read the same day also. So how to move out of it? I have got a lot of messages. Let me tell you, I must tell you what I told you the last time as to what your preparation strategy should be. And from that, let's take every of your question, because I have every of your question right now in front of me. And I'll take the questions that you have already sent to me and let's put a solution to that. So guys, last time when I met you, I talked about how to complete the subjects. If you remember, so I told you that whoever is preparing right now, they should be able to solve some of the subjects wise questions, and at the same time, they should also be able to see. I talked about in the month of February, you can start the preparation. And actually, for those any one of you who have actually started preparing this, so you might all be maybe able to complete the topic of I just open that, right? Just give me a second. I'll just open that and let's talk about this again. But by the time any of you having any thoughts, please let me know and I'll just solve that for you too. Okay. 1 second, please. Yes. So this is where I just told you that this is what your planning should be. And honestly speaking, if you are following me, then right now, because we are into almost the February, so you might have finished pediatrics here, radiology here, and I also told you to complete forensic medicine in the first week because I knew that it would be easy for you to complete those things initially. Then in the second week, this was of the 13th, then up to 20th, I asked you to finish anatomy and pharma. Okay. And today being 26th, so today you might be able to finish pharma and medicine half. I'll not say full, but yes, half. Well, I'm not sure where have you reached. Honestly, first I want all of you to answer me very surely. Have you been able to finish this? If you have, let's move forward. If you haven't, let's make a different plan altogether because there's no way I can again move forward in the same way. So were you able to do this? In this time, I have told you in the last video. Have you been able to finish pediatrics, radiology, forensic medicine in the first week? Have you been able to finish anatomy, pharma in the second week and path and half of medicine right now? If you have been, yes, let's move forward. If you haven't, let's make a different plan altogether for all of you because right now things are not moving in the way that we all wanted it to be. So what can we do now? Sir, honestly speaking, what you must do now is please understand, even though that you have not been able to read right now, students are. I have visited a lot of states in between that you are seeing. I have visited Bangalore, I have visited Hyderabad, I have seen AIMS library, Southern library, UCMS library, MAMC library, and I'm telling you, students are studying a lot. They are still studying, and anyone who is focused is reading, guys. So don't think that because thus you are not able to study, no one else is. First of all, let's face the truth now. Okay, maybe some of you will not like what I'm saying now, but it is the truth. You should know what is happening to all of you. Secondly, suppose you have not been able to finish this, if any other subjects, please stop now. Okay, just stop now. Take a week's time now. Just take a week now. Okay, just stop here and take a week off. Not off. What you must do is try to finish these subjects before you move to the next subject that I've told you. Because if you don't do this, what will happen is this backlog will not be able to not help you to focus anyway properly. Okay. So first of all, I want you to take a week. If you have not able to finish it here, take this week completely to finish a backlog. Okay. Because if you don't do this right now, then I can tell you these are most very important subjects and you will always be in a fear that, sir, what will happen to subjects which I have already left? So take a week off and just push yourself. I'm telling you guys, even though you may not be studying right now in the way that you want to, people are studying. In fact, doctors are studying. I've seen a lot of doctors studying day in and day out, and they also are messaging me, sir, my GT scores are really improving because of your advice. So my advice was very simple. Also, to apply for a grant test here, here, and here. So have you given a grant test? Yes, I know that you have. Now what is happening is in the grant test, I'm seeing a lot of messages that, sir, my grant test scores are not improving. My first question is, have you given a grant test in the time that you want to? Now, what is the time that you want to? You want to have a grant test at the 9 a.m. in the morning time. Please understand, I will not allow you to apply for a grant test in the last month. Okay? My way of following it is different. So I will not allow you to apply for a grant test in the last, I'll say not even you can apply for a grant test in the week of May if you're not applying for the I9CT, but that is not the way you should move forward. The last week should only be yours. Yes, you can apply for a grant test, maybe 1 or 2, but you should not be having a lot of grant tests in the last month of May. So your grant test should be here, here, and here, and the timing should be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, what is happening is students are messaging me, sir, I am not able to fully concentrate in the grant test. My scores are stuck up 60 to 70 numbers correct. My scores are stuck up at 80-90 questions correct. What should I do? Second problem that you are facing is, sir, my grant test scores are low. I understand that, but what is happening is that my way of reading a grant test takes the entire day. Sir, am I doing a mistake? Well, see, what is happening nowadays is the grant test explanations are being very, very long. That is ought to take some time. Now, what you must do is, when you're reviewing a grant test, please understand one thing. Whenever you're renewing a grant test, what you must do is, I'll write it here, how to review a grant test. Okay, grant test review. Now, this is a very, very important topic I'm talking about. See, first of all, you should notice on those questions which are unanswered. Okay, do not just randomly look at question number 1 and go to question number 200 because this will take a lot of time. Now, if the time is not a constraint, you can do this. But because time is a big constraint, do not do this. Try to first look at those questions which you have not been able to answer. Okay, so this is the first thing I want you all to do. Secondly, sorry. Yes. Secondly, look at those questions which actually went wrong. Now, in the wrong questions, I don't want you to read every and every word that is written in the grand test or explanations. Try to focus on what was wrong. Okay. So please understand, do not look at every explanations. Just look at what point got wrong because of your answer went wrong. Okay. Finally, you need move into those questions which actually got correct. Now, the two types of questions that got corrected, one of those which you knew, okay, and one of those which you had no idea but you just made a guess. So first look at this, and from here know to those questions which you actually knew. Okay, so this is the way you can proceed on to following a grand test question. The ideal time that you should take for a grand test review is, I'll say, 6 hours, not more than this. Now you would say, sir, I am taking more than 1 day to review a grand test. But it is not a grand test that your actual exam is. Please understand, your grand test is not the main exam. Reviewing a grand test should not take more than 6 hours. Now, this is the way how you must review a grand test. Now, in the grand test, if you see such a long explanations, just focus on those points in the explanations because of which you could have solved the question. For example, there is a question supposedly on folate transporter gene, and every gene chromosome is written in the grand test explanations. Don't go to read that. It will not help you. It will not help you. Secondly, do not read the explanations and make sure and just ensure that you're putting every point of those explanations in the main notes. It will again take a lot of time. See, if you have time, that's well and fine, because if you don't have time, it will really create a problem to you. So what and how you should do that? So my second point here is how to add those points. Now I will ask you to take a paper here. Just take a rough paper. In this rough paper, just scribble. Okay, just scribble. Don't write every point. For example, suppose the question is on pancreatic adenocarcinoma and the treatment asked was wrong. Okay, suppose there was a Whipple's procedure to be done and you have just made the complication Whipple procedure wrong. So what was the exact thing that got wrong? What you must do is just take a piece of paper and in that write Whipple's and electrolyte disturbance. I could not guess that answer correct. Just write a single line in the paper. Now don't throw this paper out. Do not throw this paper out. This paper should remain to you in a separate file, or maybe it should be carried by you in the next 3 to 4 days. Because if you can again revise this thing, it will really help you to retain this and not allow you to do the same mistake again and again. So this is one way which is very, very effective, and maybe you can take this help of this. Okay, so just don't write everything in the notes. Just don't keep on bookmarking everything, because it will take a lot of time just to read the bookmark points again. Just scribble those things, and this piece of paper should not be thrown away. Just keep it yourself. If you can read, well and good, but try to at least go through these points in the next 1 or 2 days. Okay, that is how you must review a grand test. Okay. Secondly, how must you actually move forward to improve the grand test score? So my next question that I'm getting here is how to improve a grand test score. Okay, how to improve the GT scores. Now, when you're giving a grand test, guys, please ensure that your weak subjects, just try to divide into weak, your strong, and one of them would be average subjects, right? There should be a weak subject, there will be a strong subject, and between them comes the average subject. Let's talk about this separately. Okay? Let's come to, suppose when I solve a grand test, what is happening is this: I got a question, I got a very good message. So I'm making microbiology very much wrong. So I'm doing a forensic medicine very wrong. Okay, and I'm getting surgical questions quite wrong. So how should I move out it? Because I have read microbiology 4 times. Well, if some of the subjects are really going very weak and you're not able to improve this, just what you should do is, for these questions, go for previous year questions. That's it. Because I'll tell you the fact. See, the 2 ways of improving a subject. The 2 ways: PYQs, along with that videos plus notes. Okay, this is the best way to improve a subject. So for a weak subjects, you can add PYQs, videos, and notes. Believe me, there's no time for videos. You cannot keep on watching a video again and again. There's no time for that. So what you must do is just open that maybe you can watch this video in LMRP. Yes, if you're not covered subjects, take a LMRP video. That's a very good way of revising any video. Suppose you're not covered a subject, that's a very good way of covering the subject also. With the notes, they should be with the notes that's already provided to you. And with the help of this, just go through the previous year questions. Okay. Now, please understand, a subject is weak only if the question that you're making wrong there. But suppose your weak subject is microbiology and pathology, but your marks in pathology is good, then pathology no longer is weak. It becomes strong. So it all depends upon how much questions you're able to solve from this. Okay. So the more you start working on the previous year questions, it started drastically trying to improve. Come to the strong subjects. For here, the only answer is PYQs, nothing else. Don't do anything else because these are already strong. Don't waste a lot of time to again do the same mistake again and again. What about the average subject, sir? Now, in what is average? Suppose the 10 questions and out of 10, you're making 5 correct. If it's less than 5 correct, it's a weak subject. Please understand this. And strong subjects usually are over what you make more than 7 correct. Out of 10, if you make more than 7 correct, it's a strong subject. So what about the average subjects, sir? Simple. In average subjects, you must keep on revising the notes. Okay, and along with that, you can do the PYQs. The point is, sir, now comes the next question. Sir, how to read notes? I'm all taking your question that you've given me in the Telegram. Sir, how to revise notes? Okay, how to revise notes? Because every time I take a notes out, it takes the same amount of time to revise as it took in the first reading. My question is, how are you revising the notes? Suppose you're done with biochemistry once and you again take biochemistry out. How to revise biochemistry? Do you read every page again and again? Well, that's not a good way. What you must do is take the first chapter of biochemistry. Suppose your notes has amino acid metabolism, take it out and just close your eyes and just try to recollect whatever you want. Do you remember that in that page or not? Okay. Suppose you read about the ornithine cycle. Do you remember anything about ornithine cycle? Do you remember any of the substrate or enzymes? If yes, just first close your eyes and tell yourself, okay, I remember it was whatever it is in the enzyme step or the substrate step here, here and here, but I don't remember this one and that one. That impression should come to your mind. And then just open your eyes and look at that page into this portion, that portion, that's it, and move to the next page. Because if you keep on reading this notes again and again in the same way, guys, it will really take a lot of time. And believe me, we don't have that amount of time. Okay, so don't read this notes again and again fully. Let me give you one more example. Suppose you get you are revising the renal pharmacology topic. Okay, so renal pharma, do you remember the drug classification? Do you remember the mechanism of action? Do you remember the side effects? Well, out of this, you may remember the classification headlines. Okay, so do you remember the examples of aldosterone antagonist? Do you remember the examples of ACE inhibitors? Yes, you are. So that's just tell yourself, okay, I remember this point. Then you must remember, okay, what is the difference between individual drugs? And then you must try to remember what are the side effects. So whatever portion is not coming to your mind, just open the back portion notes and just go through that only. Because if you don't strain your minds, the mind will not get that accustomed to recreate the same thing in the grand test or maybe in the main exam. So just tell your mind that I need to train yourself. And the training comes only if you just push your mind again and again, that you don't see the notes there completely. Just tell your minds whatever I remember and try to recollect what you don't remember. Okay, that's how I will tell you that it is very, very important way to improve your scores and maybe how to revise notes. So I was talking about how to revise notes. Take this page out. Just view this. Don't read this. First view. Do you remember everything? If they're very good, just turn the page. If you don't remember, koi baat nahi. Do you remember anything out of it? If you don't remember anything out of it, it's a big problem. But do you remember 5% of it? So yes, I remember something written here. I remember something here. I don't remember anything written here. Open your eyes and only go to these points. And next time, when you just come back to this revision, again look at these points again, because this is all what you already remember. So you just make your mind just, you're giving this impression in the mind that I am not able to get this portion of the page and I don't remember this portion of the page. I'll all revise this and this. It gives a visual impression. I move to the next page. Because I just met a student few days back. He was telling me, sir, I have gone through physiology notes and the reading physiology notes again is taking me more time than it took the first time. Guys, If you are giving 7 days for physiology, 4 days of physiology, how are you going to move ahead? So it's the best way to remember. At least just remember what you saw in the video, or if you watch this live lectures, just try to remember what and how does sir explain to you. That is what must give you a basic idea as to what might be written in that page of the notes. Okay. Now from this, I'm getting a few other questions, and I'll take it again one by one. First of all, sir, I am solving PYQs daily, but I'm not able to revise them. So how to revise PYQs? How to revise previous year questions? See, the PYQs should be remembered in total, should be read in total. Do not solve the PYQs only of pharmacology if you're reading pharmacology the same day, because you must be able to jumble it up. Because who knows, the days to come, you may not get that amount of time that you actually plan to. Suppose you are reading a PYQ of 2019 INICT. Okay, so this should be from 1 to 200. Whether you are reading on the same day anatomy, pharma, or medicine, does not matter. So on today, suppose you are giving a PYQ time of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm just taking an example. Okay, that I don't know how you are preparing, but my way of telling you was this only. So if you're solving PYQs at 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., suppose on the previous day, suppose today is 26th, and on 25th, you have solved question number 25 to 75. So on 26th, you should solve 75 to 125. This question may be of pharma, path, micro, whatever, but maybe you're reading that separate thing in the morning time. It may be different. Because if you don't jumble it up, you may find a time when you're not able to revise everything. And because this revision of PYQ will really help you all. Okay? Acha. Now, a second thing I'll just talk about here is to how to, put yourself in a positive frame of mind. First of all, I'll tell you a few things. I will just specific examples like here. I'll just take some of the questions here, and I'll also take the questions on what you have already messaged me in the Telegram. So I'll take one question. So is doing FMG PYQ is helpful, but doing FMG PYQ is based on the NICT questions only. So if you're doing NICT and the NEET questions, that FMG is already taken care of. Don't worry about it. Sir, one reading is done, but GT score is low. I've told you how to improve the GT scores. Just try this one. It'll really help you. Okay, really help you. Sir, while revising, I can't remember many such things. That's okay, completely okay. So if you're not able to remember anything, that means the first revision, you might have forgotten a lot of things. Okay, in that case, you must do a retrograde reading. Go through previous year questions, or the notes I already shared to you in my Telegram channel. There is a sure short success PDF I've shared to you. Just go to those topics and come back to the notes that you have made. Okay, for example, if you go through the anatomy notes and you look at the anatomy short subjects topics, just read that topics only from the anatomy notes and just get out of it. Don't stress a lot. Okay, but even if you don't have time for reading all those topics, don't worry guys, just read the previous topics and get out of it. That's also one more way. And the previous topic should be only of 2 years then, if you don't have time, that amount of time there. Acha. Now I'll take a few other questions. These questions are from my Telegram channel. I'll take them again. First of all, what is happening is the long hours, the reading, they're not able to maintain the full continuity. So how to maintain the long hour continuity? First of all, take frequent breaks. Please understand this thing. Our mind gets distracted after every 15 minutes. Okay, that's a problem of our mind. Our mind will get distracted even after every 15 minutes. So while you're trying to sit for a long hour, your mind will get distracted at least for 8-9 times. So when you start reading and you're not able to concentrate for a long time, take breaks. The break should be short and the reading time should be long. Suppose you read for 30 minutes, take a 5 minutes break, again 30 minutes, take a 5 minutes of break. Well, if you're getting distracted by the phone, just switch it off and don't worry about it. If you're reading from the phone, delete WhatsApp or delete Facebook, whatever is distracting you. Okay. Now, what is happening is, if you're getting lazy, what should you do about it? I'm again telling you, you might be getting lazy, but everywhere doctors are studying. I have been to AIMS library, I have been to Bangalore library, to Hyderabad library, to Mamsi library, to Southern library, and every student is studying there. You see around you, you'll see so many students studying. And believe me, Just 5,000 students are required to take up your rank throughout India. So maybe you are not able to study, but please understand everyone else is. And if you are not able to understand that, I'll come back again and tell you, you have to study. There's no other way you can come out of it. So whenever you're not able to study, just tell yourself, do I need to give one more year, or 2022 should be my last year? So this will give you an answer. No, this is the year you all want to crack it. That extra effort, I'm telling you, this extra effort of maybe 1 hour or maybe 15 minutes will help you to sit for longer time. Whenever you want to wake, just get out of your study table. Just tell yourself, can't I study just more? Can't I study for 5 minutes more or 10 minutes more? If you can, just sit. Don't get up. I'm telling you, everyone else is studying. I have been to so many places, getting so many messages. People are studying, guys. Okay. I'll take a few other questions. Sir, how good is to watch the LMRP videos? So for any subjects which you have not covered completely, start watching LMRP with its notes. It's a very good way to complete that subject. But if you have already read a subject, don't do that. Please follow the regular notes that you already made it. Okay. Okay, some students have had health issues and they have wasted a lot of time in between the lectures. I'm telling you, don't worry about it. So I made a plan from here. Okay, I made a plan for you from here. Suppose you are not able to finish this PEDS Radio FM Anatomy Pharma. I'm giving you 1 complete week to complete the backlog. Don't move forward into my way that I told you in the last video. If you haven't watched it, please watch that video where I told you how to cover the entire subjects. So please look at that and try to cover this week in that topics only. Suppose you want 1 more week, take half of this and again cover the backlog before you move forward. Please understand, moving forward is important only when you cover the backlog. If the backlog is increasing, there's no way you're moving forward, you're moving backward. So please cover those backlogs, okay? The issue that some students are facing is that they end up forgetting things while solving MCQs, but koi baat nahi. You must read a topic at least 6-7 times before you remember this. The 19 subjects and 90% retention takes a lot of effort. So if you're forgetting it, don't worry, just ensure you revise it again after 2 to 3 days. Revision is a key, and don't just increase your reading study material. Don't increase that. Just limit yourself to what you have already read it. Don't just increase your study material by just looking into every book that your friends are suggesting you. Don't do that. Okay. So, sir, I'm a repeater. My rank was around 14K and I want to really go to get attempt how to do that. But dekho, if you have actually covered the topics that was given to you, it's well and good. If you haven't been, please download the PDF I've shared to you in the short magic PDF. Just take a print out of it and ensure you read every topic there. Suppose you're not able to read those topics, what you must do is go through previous questions and make your own topics and read those, because it quite depends upon how big the subject is. Telling you one fact, for short subjects, there's only one page PDF. You can easily cover that. A previous question topics I have already made for you and shared in my Telegram group. Please go through that and you can complete the topic. For any long subjects, please understand, medicine question 1 number, anesthesia question 1 number. So if you're planning to leave a subject, you are not in the right frame of mind. If you're leaving a subject, there's no way you can get a rank. There's no way you can get a rank. So don't leave a subject. If a subject is small, at least go to the previous questions and based on that, read the retrograde topics. That's it. But don't ignore a subject completely. Okay? Acha. So I'm not able to stick to the time allotted to the particular subject. So that means if you're taking more amount of time for completing a subject, that clearly means that your time allocation was not right enough. That means what? Suppose gynae ops, I have given you 3 days, but you know your gynae ops is weak. That means you should not give 3 days to gynae ops. You must give 6 days to gynae ops, because in that way you'll be able to finish it off, and in the next revision you'll really take a less amount of time. So suppose your subject is weak, give more amount of time, and some subject is very strong, give less amount of time. Change it according to your usage and according to your potential. Okay. Achha, sir, daily subject questions and identify my weakening subjects. Dekho, solving a subject question is completely dependent on you. I personally don't feel that you should do that, because it will take a lot of time and the subject questions are very in-depth, which doesn't test your ability to recall a subject. It tests your ability to recall a subtopic. Recalling a subtopic is not how you crack a PG. Recalling a subject and its application into medicine field is how and what gives you a rank in PG. Okay. So after postponement, I had to go through my brothers and sisters' marriage. What to do about it? But देखो, what has happened has happened. Just tell yourself, no more marriage functions, no more family functions, no birthdays, nothing. Give the entire next few months to your preparation. Even a single day you waste, you're moving far ahead and far backward from your goal of getting a rank in PG. There's only requirement of 5,000 good students all over India who can take your rank. I'm not just making you afraid, but just telling you the truth. If I can't tell you the truth, who else will? Because you yourself is not telling you the truth that you must study now. So I must be able to tell you that. Okay. Acha. So sir, actually, I'm following the exam revamping program of Bhatia. Is it like the cumulative one? Should I go with this cumulative test series? Yes, you can surely go with cumulative test series. It's a very good way of revising things. And don't leave the notes also. Please understand, there should be a good, coverage of notes. And along with the notes, you should always be solving previous year questions and giving grand tests. It should not always only and only about reading a previous year questions only or appearing for a grand test. Some students are in a mood to only and only go through grand tests. It will not help you. Grand test questions are different from what actually comes in an exam. So why do I give a grand test? Just to tell your mind that you must be able to read those subjects and questions in that amount of time. Some students are not able to read the topics or read the entire questions. Well, if you're not able to sit for 3 hours now, what gives you guarantee that you can read a 3-hour question in the main exam? How are you prepared? Now, why does the exam happen in 3 hours? See, if you're doing a surgery, after getting a rank in PG, you take a MS surgery. You do a surgery in 6 hours. If you can't read a question in 3 hours, what makes you feel that you can actually do a surgery in 6 hours? It tests your patience. It tests your ability to concentrate for 3 hours. That concentration should be there, and only then you get a rank, isn't it? So just don't get demotivated. Just tell yourself, I need to sit down. Okay? So face-to-face lectures still going on. So देखो, if you're appearing still for a face-to-face lectures, I think you are in a better position. How, sir? Because you are reading the subject right now. While the students are still struggling to revise a subject which they have read in the previous year, you are reading it just now. And I think you will remember it more than what they have done previously. I'm not telling you to join a face-to-face lectures right now, but that gives you a positive way of seeing in your things. So the more you see positivity in your way of thinking, it really should lift up your rank. Sir, how many hours to study in a day? देखो, studying number of hours, I'll say should be at least 8 hours plus. 6 hours and below only for interns who are doing right now. But if you're not doing an internship, you're doing a post intern, or you're actually preparing sitting in the back home, that it must be 8+ hours. Okay. Students are reading for 12+ hours a day, but I think anything more or less 8+ hours is really doable, and you must be able to do that. Please take a Sunday motivation every Sunday. So yes, I'll try to. For the last I'll say 15-14 days, I was completely traveling. I was not in my home, and I was not able to find some time. So it took me time to just come back from that, and therefore I couldn't take a motivation session for a long time. So last 30 minutes of the GT looks exhaustive, but देखो, again I tell you, you have to concentrate. In fact, the last 30 minutes of the GT is the most important time, because that is when you look at the question that you have actually missed or the questions you have marked for review. I'm telling you, if you're not able to concentrate the GT for this 33 hours right now, what gives you guarantee that you're able to concentrate for the main exam? Please motivate yourself, and if you can't give 1 GT, give yourself a challenge. Give 2 GT in the same setting, and then let's see how much you can concentrate. I think that is another way how you can look into the things positively. Okay, what else? How to cope up with the time if we are working and having a child? If you're actually having a child, it really takes a lot of courage to study now, because I understand how much that demanding is. That is very, very demanding. That taking care of a child is very demanding. In fact, taking care of a family is also very demanding. So It's a very difficult question, honestly speaking. If you can get in the night after your kid sleeps, after that, if you get at least 2 hours, is really more than sufficient. And how this is more than sufficient for you? Because you must only focus on the previous year questions. Got the point? So if you have a kid back home, you're not getting some time, let the kid sleep. Don't make yourself tense, because it will also make your uh, kid in a problem, because he will be very upset not meeting you. So just focus on that. After 10 p.m. if he sleeps, if she sleeps, then only you can focus on getting reading previous year questions. Okay. How to write systemic pathology? Should I tell me medicine or separately? It all depends upon what your score is in the grand test. Okay. I've spoken about this a lot of time. If your grand test score is quite above, say 110, 120, then you can do a systemic approach of reading cardiology or nephrology with pathology or pharmacology. But if your score is not that much, then read and stick to the individual subject revision. Don't club it. Okay, because that means your subjects are weak and you need to first grow on the subjects. And if your score is above 120, do a systemic revision. That's a very good way. So if studying mainly previous topics is enough, देखो, if you're doing a second revision, at least previous topics is good way of revising it. But if you're still doing the first revision, then at least read the notes properly, because questions are not always going to come from previous topics. Yes, they mostly will be, but if you read the notes and the previous questions, it really give you a lot of confidence into solving those questions which actually are out of the previous year questions. Okay. So it was on 3 weeks after there was a postponement, and then actually the entire momentum stopped. So again, I'm telling you, there are people who are studying for 12 hours plus a day. If you don't believe me, go and go to the AIMS library, go to Southern library, go to AMC library, go to Bangalore or Hyderabad library. Students are studying without any distraction. Just see around you and you'll keep on studying. Some people don't believe it because they feel that I am not telling you the truth. But honestly speaking, this is what is happening. Every student is studying. Every student is studying. So previous timetable, you can see in the previous video, I already shared with you. So I think we can just stop the session right now. I have one line to tell you. Even when you are struggling, even when you feel discouraged, and you feel like other people have given up on you, don't ever give up on yourself. Got the point? If you might be struggling, you might feel discouraged, you might feel people have not believing on you, you believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, you surely are telling yourself, I can do it. And the more you tell yourself every day, you can do it. Work for that goal and surely will achieve it. Guys, I'll not take a lot of time for yours because time is very precious right now. Thank you for staying with me in this session. Do let me know what else you want in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like this video again, and ensure to subscribe to the channel, because a lot of things I'll bringing this forward, because now I am back to my home. I can just record a lot of sessions to you, a lot of revision series, maybe integrated series, a lot of things that we can actually do. So ensure that you actually subscribe to the channel right now, and the next time that we meet, let me know what else you want. I can surely bring it for you, and we can discuss that again. Whatever problem you can solve, whatever problem there is for you, we'll just solve it together. Wishing you all the best. Take care, a very healthy life, and ensuring you read. I am with you. Every week we'll discuss this together and try to solve our problems together. Okay? Wishing you all the best. Take care. A very good night to you. Bye-bye.